Oh, weight loss. Let's talk about it. Obviously, weight loss is a major factor in the United States for many Americans. Most people end up blaming the thyroid, right? We see that all the time. Oh, we have an underactive thyroid. That's why I don't lose weight, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes. Oftentimes, there are many other factors that are deeper to the thyroid. And also, honestly, the blood testing that most doctors do for the thyroid is complete garbage. They test your TSH, that's pretty much it, and then try to base that on it. It's not even a thyroid hormone. It's kind of a joke. There's many other tests that should be used for that. But really, the hormone that drives issues with weight loss is insulin. And no, it has nothing to do with, oh, I get my blood sugar tested. No, it's not your glucose level. Your insulin is a hormone released from your pancreas. Its job is to store energy. Now, it stores energy either in your muscles, your livers, or in fat cells. The more your blood sugar goes up, the more insulin is released, period. That's just the way it works. Now, this is why 500 calories of working out at the gym and 500 calories of pure sugar are not equal. When you eat 500 calories of pure sugar, whether that's in a smoothie, whatever, your Starbucks drink with 1,000 grams of sugar in it, it spikes your blood sugar. Now, insulin is released when it hits a certain point, okay? And that brings your blood sugar back down. All that excess that can't go into your liver and your muscles ends up in fat cells. That's why it's not the same. When you burn energy, you first burn it from your muscles and your liver, and then you work from your fat cells. And I'm going to put an asterisk there and come back to that. So you're burning from all these areas. Well, the majority of this 500 calories of sugar ended up in your fat cells because it has to push it all quickly out of your bloodstream because having high blood sugar is really bad for you. So when you go burn those calories, it's not coming from the same places. So you're burning from your muscles and you're adding to your fat cells. You're burning from your muscles, adding to your fat cells. So that's why that doesn't work. The whole calorie counting back and forth just doesn't work. It's not equal, and that's because of insulin. That is the hormonal factor that leads to weight loss. With insulin, that's when it's active. Now, we can have high insulin in between meals during what's called fasting insulin. Now, this is the critical test for if you're having trouble losing weight. If you have high insulin when you're not eating, you cannot lose weight. It literally blocks the process. It's a biomechanical process. It doesn't work. That is the key blood test. That is the key thing to control if you are trying to lose weight. That is the hidden factor. And most of your doctors won't test it. It's a simple test. It's not even that expensive. Getting that under control is critical. Now, how do you bring that level down? Well, that kind of depends. You need to do a few things. You need to decrease your carbs. You need to increase your protein and your fat intake. You need to probably going to have to do some intermittent fasting, up to 16 hours to help swing the pendulum the other way and bring that insulin level down and get those receptors balanced back out. Now, high insulin will eventually lead to diabetes. So that is the long-term gain. So we all want to avoid that. It's a nasty, nasty disease. So when we eat more protein, more fat, it causes less of an insulin response because they're slowly introduced into the bloodstream and keep a more stable blood sugar. And that is the biggest key. That is the big thing. The other thing that controls that is cortisol. Cortisol is the other critical hormone. It comes from your adrenal glands. It's your stress hormone. Controlling that hormone is also critical because it kind of controls your thyroid, controls how much insulin is released. How do we control our cortisol? We have to reduce our stress. That's going to be exercise, meditation, any other things that help you reduce your stress. No, that does not mean alcohol. Making sure we decrease our sugar intake. That's going to be another one to support our adrenal glands. That'll also help keep your insulin levels down. And another big factor is going to be sleep. You have to get sleep, and you need to get consistent sleep. 7.5 to 8.5 hours is probably the sweet spot. And getting to bed at a normal time is going to be critical to that. Other things you can work on are making sure sex hormones, our female or male hormones, are in balance, and that some of that's going to be to work to avoid what's called exogenous, so external hormone disruptors and substances that mimic hormones in the body. And those are your things like your forever chemicals that you hear about. Soy mimics estrogen in the body. Things like your perfumes and scents and that type of stuff that you're going to find in your detergents for your clothes Dryer sheets, please get rid of the dryer sheets, for crying out loud. They're full of chemicals that are hormone disruptors that disrupt all of these processes and can lead to weight gain. Because these toxic substances, your body has to deal with them. Well, sometimes the way your body deals with them is shove them into your fat cells. When you're trying to get rid of your fat cells, and they contain a bunch of these chemicals, sometimes your body will resist burning them because it can't deal with the toxic load. So that's another factor into inability to lose weight. So controlling those toxins and exogenous factors are a big one. Those are the things you can really do to support your body. Helping with your insulin. Big one is Diaplex. Diaplex contains chromium, huge supporter of proper insulin response. It also has pancreas support, liver support, some digestive support, gallbladder support. It's a really good product that helps really regulate hunger, appetite, the insulin response, which are all critical, obviously, to losing weight. The other thing is we need to make sure that we have good digestion to eliminate out of the body. That's also a way that we get rid of some of these hormones and other factors that can disrupt all that stuff, is out through our body, through our urine and through our feces. So that's one goes out through the gallbladder, one goes out through the kidneys. So making sure those things are functioning properly. And we use Spanish black radish to help with digestion and detox. We use AF beta food to help the gallbladder thin the bile and excrete that. Increasing our fiber to make sure that our bowels are moving properly. Increasing our water to make sure we're flushing things out that way. So those are big things for weight loss. Another big thing is that you can do is ordering your food, and I'm not talking for takeout, but ordering how you eat the food on your plate. We want to put our carbs last. We want to get our fibers. We then want to get our proteins, fats, and then at the end we want to add in our carbs, our potatoes or mac and cheese, whatever else you're going to be eating for that. But we need that fiber to slow it down, and that will help you lose weight. If you're still having trouble with some craving of sugar, we need to look closer at the adrenal glands, and we need to look at our stress response, that type of thing. Now, ashwagandha can be a good thing there to help balance that out. That helps with both our sleep, but also the regulation of our cortisol, which will help with those cravings of sugar, sometimes even salty things. So again, forget about your carb counting and all that stuff, and it's just a deficit is all you need. That's not true, because it doesn't work that way. Timing, the type of calories, insulin response, cortisol response, all that stuff plays into that, and you can't just make it that simple.